Hello, Internet. This is Handsome Dan, and in our last video, we started the the actual tower of the Lighthouse of Alexandria, and we got this large first floor and the first couple stories of the bottom part of the tower up. And excuse me. And I said that in the next video, or before we did the next video, I would propagate that upward to to the point where we did something new. This is actually these corner pillars. I have up to about as high. It's 50 blocks. If we're going for 100 meters total, it's 50 blocks from ground level up to the top of these pillars. But for what I have in mind that we're going to do next, I think we're going to have to add one. And what that is, our source material for the Great Lighthouse, above all these stories, and by the way, all of these sources appear to have more than the 10 stories that that we've done, but I'm sure they also don't have floors that are 3 feet thick, that are 1 meter thick. So my idea, it's interesting. I just now noticed that this is slightly different at the top than sort of an arch design, where both of these have a section here. One of the drawings that we're relying on, I believe it's this one. If we zoom, I'm going to try to zoom. I remember there being a problem with this before, but let's try it. Okay, I guess that worked. In that upper area, there was an engraving. I don't read Greek. I don't know what that says. Trying to see if I can pick it out at all. Those first, no, I guess not. I was wondering if those first few letters, ZOS. I'm wondering if that's something with Zeus. THEO, Theo. That's Latin for God. Could be something with Zeus. This looks like the English characters for Eastern Horizon. No, I can't tell what that is. But at least, but there is a engraving there. And how do I zoom back out? I guess like that. And how do I get back to what we were looking at? Nope. Oh yeah, okay, that works. These images do come from a Wikipedia article, so you saw a flash of the Wikipedia article there. Anyway, they have a section up here for an engraving area. Now, the question is, what is that made out of? For what we're doing with the diorite being used as an accent, I like the idea of diorite across the top and bottom of this with sandstone in the middle. And I have an idea for a engraving, and won't be a surprise where we do it, but I'm still going to leave it we'll still leave it a secret for when I get up there. Again, it's not a big deal. Oh, also off camera, I put stairs all along the bottom of the tower. I don't know that that's historical or not. It just sort of looks cool. Oh yeah, I actually also grabbed a bunch of scaffolding so that we wouldn't have to do this. I feel like scaffolding up 10 stories, almost 50 blocks right now, would be faster than this. But here we are, 10 stories up. There's the Oracle that we did first, my City Hall base, my kelp farm, my reed farm. I just came from watching the Golden Knights, which is what that is. Anyway, the drawings that we're going off of seem to have it seems like these ridges are flush with the outer pillars here too, even though the ridges are a little different. And of course this one has a different top altogether. So if we're going to do that, that suggests that a row of sandstone here sitting on top of these pillars, maybe it should be diorite. I'm not going to do diorite, but maybe it should be. In any case, putting the diorite down first is going to cause us less problems for putting putting the sandstone down first is going to cause us less problems when we put a row of diorite out one from this. And we may as well go all the way around with the sandstone. This floor that we're on, my intent is that it is... Well, I mean, it doesn't make sense that this should be solid in here, but my intent is to close it off so that from the inside, you never are on this level. And what that means is, like the tops of these diorite pillars, since we're blocking it off where you're never going to see that block, let's do the other side, could use cobble. I did put a little extra cobble in the boxes down below, but I didn't bring any up here with me. Oh, didn't want to do that. I want above here, I want 5 high, which is why I say I think we're going to have to go up one more on these pillars. Been watching these videos on YouTube, apropos of nothing. I've been watching these videos on YouTube. Oops. I don't think I have them up now. Oh, I do. Who are they by? They are by Clever Dick Films. And he has basically a video for each iteration of the Doctor. I don't recall if there's a Jodie Whittaker video. But her story isn't... the last chapter of her story hasn't been written yet. So it probably wouldn't be appropriate for there to be a Jodie Whittaker one yet. Alright, so my idea is 5 up from here, which leaves us room for an engraving. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is going to have to go up one more to put another row of diorite on top. We'll do that when we get up there. Have to plan out where my engraving is going to go. So let's get some torches. Find the middle again. So 12 and 13 is the middle. And what I want has 6 characters. So 6 times 4, 24. And 1 extra in the middle, but 1 less on the outside. I don't even know if that makes sense. Anyway, what I think I want 24 wide. And let's see. Let's plan this. I'm going to be putting this in backwards, but you should quickly recognize what I'm doing. We happen to have exactly 24. This isn't going to work. Wait, I could do this. It happens to be 24 wide across between the pillars. All right, so 1, 2, you start here. And I forgot to make another steel pickaxe. That one was almost dead. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1. Ooh. 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2. So that means this space has to get filled in. So let's move all this over. Oops. I'm slightly lucky there that that block didn't just decide to tumble. So let's tear this down. I thought about other materials for this. Black wool, obsidian, but I think nether brick gives us the right contrast. Ooh, almost fell. I just came from watching the Golden Knights. I was right the first time. That block needs to be there. But that one doesn't. And that one doesn't. Did I just lose comms? No, I got comms. Didn't see the blocks drop from killing that. Alright. Get rid of this. No, I do want that. Well, I messed up someplace. Da, da, da. Those of you who can read backwards probably already have a pretty good idea of what the plan is here. So there's my engraving. Backwards, it looks like whatever that is. 1S, OS, funny looking thing, H. Oh, that's why I didn't have that extra space. I made that H wrong. Well, we can fix that because it's only going to be 2 letters. only reason I did that is to make sure I get the piece of nether brick that got stuck up there. All right, now that the H is done correctly, we have HD 2021. And that's why I wanted 5 high in here. So that we have room for that engraving. We may as well put torches in the same spot here. You know, those won't keep monsters from spawning very much. But we also don't care that much. This area is going to be, we think, inaccessible to normal users, normal people in the pyramid, or in the lighthouse. So there's the HD, and we can put an extra space. When I actually plotted this out down below to make sure I was going to have room. And twice, I messed up. I did 2021. Or sorry, I did 2020 when I meant to do 2021. What, seriously? I dropped that, oh no, there it is. That's wrong. Still wrong. It's a problem with doing this at night, I guess. But the bed is all the way down there. Oh, I did get a couple more stacks of green wool. The wool farm is super slow, but I did get a couple more stacks of green wool, so the front side, at least, is basically done. Let's make sure that looks right, even though it's backwards, obviously, and it does. Deliberately got 4 stacks of I did that. I don't want to do that. I deliberately got 4 stacks of nether ore. After plotting it out, I knew that's all we were going to need. That was a mistake. watching all those Doctor Who videos has got me in a weird mood to, and I consider doing that right now instead of doing this. There was a virtual reality game Doctor Who and the Edge of Time, something like that. Doctor Who, the Edge of Time. And I've already played it. I've already won. It just has me in the mood to do something doctorish. It's not a bad game. It's short. It's essentially a puzzle game. The Doctor is basically your helper more than really the star of the thing. But that makes sense for a puzzle game. Why did a skeleton spawn up there? Oh yeah, because we don't have any light up there. Looks like a nice set of armor he's got. I assume he'll see me at some point while I'm doing this. And maybe we'll get some of that armor. Probably the section where I learned the most is the video about the years where there was no Doctor Who. The video calls them the wilderness years. And it includes how the 1996, I believe, TV movie happened. And I've seen most of that movie. It's not very good. It's very 90s. But it has two problems. One is fall. I think I lost a brick. It's okay, I'm not going to use any more nether brick for this. Alright, now I can fill in with sandstone. It's not really that it's trying too hard. It's that it's trying to please too many people. It was mostly produced by Steven Spielberg, or, well, his company anyway. And so it had to introduce a new audience, an American audience, to the Doctor. But it also had to have enough call-outs or whatever, fan service, to please existing fans. I was just thinking, why is that one off the floor? Forgot about it. Well, anyway, we do get a chance to kill the skeleton. even though he's already shot us 3 times. And we didn't get any of his armor. All right, boo, skeleton. And the plot doesn't make any sense when you really examine it. And I'm told that's a problem with a lot of things that are in development hell for a long time. Is that they have the time to keep revising the script. So they keep revising the script. I did it again. And save pieces of old drafts and work in pieces of new drafts. And so that the final script is like a Frankenstein of a million different ideas. And in the case of this Doctor Who TV movie, the biggest thing as far as the mythology of the Doctor that is left over from earlier drafts, even though it's, crazy, is that in the 1996 movie, the Doctor is half human. And that, even though the 8th Doctor, that's the only TV appearance he had, the 8th Doctor, Paul McGann. But it is treated as part of the Doctor Who canon. So it really, air quotes, really happened. So realistically, at some point, Doctor Who is going to have to deal with it, and it's not just a not just a minor thing. Like he does whisper to a character, by the way, I'm half human, and you could write that off as, well, the Doctor lies, which mostly the David Tennant version, or mostly the Christopher Eccleston version, makes that a particular part of his character, but the David Tennant version, so the 9th and 10th Doctors, make a big point out of the Doctor lies. The problem is that other characters were like, oh my God, I just now realized the Doctor is half human. And so eventually they're going to have to deal with that. Okay, that works. You aren't really going to be able to see this from the ground, or at least not from close up. We could leave all of this. Let's put it in. I'm only aware of one thing where Doctor Who, since the 8th Doctor, has even acknowledged Paul McGann. And I should say televised Doctor Who is acknowledged, because there have been other productions. That series on YouTube makes a big deal out of, I guess the company was Big Finish, produced a lot of audio stories for the Doctor, including doctors who had already passed on the baton. The 6th Doctor, particularly, I know his name. The guy before Sylvester McCoy. What's his name? Let's just say the 6th Doctor. I know his name. I can see his face. I'm just not getting his name. he did a lot of those stories. So the unsatisfying farewell that he had from the televised Doctor Who, he got to be the Doctor for a whole lot longer. All right, my idea is that inside all of we do a full layer of cobble right here, and then slabs on top of it. Although something else we could do, and actually we probably should, maybe scratch what I said about the full layer of cobble. We may still do that, but we might do it a level higher. Our source material, of the 3 drawings, 2 of them show fairly involved, I don't know what you can call that, crenellations, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word or not, but it's a good word. On top of the main part of the tower. This shows them as this greenish that I suspect is meant to be copper. This, it's black and white. It's unclear, but it's also much thicker. Hold on a second. I turned off my coffee maker before I had it out, but there was still almost a full pot on the burner. So that's reheating now. Anyway, I don't like the idea of this whole huge full thing, but we could do something with that, but I don't like that. This is probably a better thing to go off of. What do you think? A layer of upside down prismarine? And then I'm not sure what to do about these little spikes up above that. Prismarine walls makes the most sense, but we aren't going to be able to get it. Well, I suppose we could offset it. We aren't going to be able to get them centered, but I like the idea of offsetting it, and we'll see how it looks. Let's go get a bunch of prismarine. There's something else I wanted to get while I was in the base. I don't remember. On the one hand, it sucks to get old, but this is really more about. I just came from the bar watching hockey, so let's just say I had 1.5 adult beverages. Possible it's more than that. Just saying. I don't want to do it right here. I'll put the scaffolding right here because I think we're going to go out a little bit. And of course you can't put it on that anyway. So let's put some scaffolding right here. And I'm going to put all of this scaffolding up. Oh, cobble is what I was going to get. I was going to get some cobble. I don't think I brought very much. I got a couple stacks. Let's bring this with me. We'll sleep. Cobble and prismarine is what we want. I have a villager that's like wandering around out here just generally being a doofus. If he goes in here, if he actually gets inside, he would probably figure out how to make himself useful. But he's wandering around outside just generally being a doofus. So we want some cobble. I'm going to get a bunch. I'm going to get 2 stacks. Or 2, not stacks, but 2 rows. So 18 stacks. Put away these arrows and bones we got from that skeleton. This may seem weird that I put these bones in the box marked dies. They do turn into bone meal, which then turns into white dye. But I also have upstairs in the composter. Really? That's all I got? Well, how much we're gonna need? Gonna need well, wait a minute. Let's see. Yeah, this has it up above the pillars too. So if this is 32 across, we definitely need 2 stacks for stairs, plus a little extra. And there's our 2 stacks for stairs, plus a little extra. And I think I like the idea of using walls. And I think 2 stacks will be fine. Do prismarine bricks make walls? Maybe not. What about regular prismarine? Regular prismarine makes walls. Okay, that works for us. We're going to take another stack of regular prismarine just for shiggles. I think we can put away this netherrack. All this nether brick, where it came from, is trying to get nether quartz for those, well, the build I'm standing in and the suburban house build. I guess I'll build a pickaxe while I'm here. All of this is nether quartz. This is nether quartz. All of this is nether quartz. This is all nether quartz. This is nether quartz. The guy who designed this building, and this is the other one. Since he does it on creative, he doesn't mind using ridiculous quantities of nether quartz. Why that villager is there, I used a barrel for storage of saplings and so forth. I guess there's some spruce there. That's my tree farming area. And so he worked his way outside and decided that was his area. There's the barrel there, which makes him a fisherman, and there's a bed. I got more cobble. Oh, let's go up there. I am going to need the cobble, I think. Still surprised prismarine bricks aren't a thing, or prismarine brick walls aren't a thing. Oh yeah, I built that scaffolding. Let's go up the scaffolding. I think it'll be faster, even though I'm already a quarter of the way up. You know, the more I think about this, the more I think it's not cobble I want. The more I think it's sandstone that I want. Although this layer that I'm doing, actually I don't need to do this layer at all. That can be a spot where spiders get trapped. It's on top of this that I want. I probably should have made 2 stacks of those fences. That surprises me so much that you can't make prismarine brick walls that I really feel like it's an oversight. Probably should be able to make prismarine brick fences too, on analogy with nether brick walls and nether brick fences. My first world, I was so scared of ghasts in the nether that that all of my roads were completely walled in. Cobblestone floors and ceilings and nether brick fences on the sides. Which worked, they were gas proof. But they were also a pain in the ass to build. And I think I mentioned when I was doing the Oracle build, the Angkor Wat build, this I was doing a lot of this. Walking along, placing stairs. Was most of building those. You can't. I don't think their chunks are loaded. No, they aren't. Was most of building the minarets on top of the Angkor Wat build. With the same block prismarine bricks. And I think for most of that time I was using the default texture pack. So it did look slightly different than this because of that. But it was the same thing. Alright, now my idea with the fences is if I put one here. Oops, I guess we have to do it from the side. If I put one here. And the only reason I'm doing this is in our source material, there's these little dots on that one. That doesn't have them. But that one has these more involved, almost like arrow slits. That's not the name for them when they aren't slits all the way, but that's the feel of what they are. All right, so I started on the corner there, so we start on the knot corner here. Get the corner there. I think I'm going to be like one short. Knot corner here. I guess that worked. Okay, now a layer of cobble. And I'm going to shut up because we're going to 6-speed this. All right, now that this is all done, including a trip downstairs to get more cobble, including lighting up the level below us, you'll notice that we did skip a couple of things. The biggest one being the stairs below are going to come up through this floor. I don't know yet how that's going to look. The other thing that we want to do is this version doesn't have them, but this version has like a gargoyle there. That version does not. Interesting. Some of the Civilization versions do. I'm surprised here that it's only one. But this, I read that as gargoyles or something. That doesn't have them. That does, but that's based off, we think, I concluded this the last video. That's the same person that did that white drawing. And yeah, that's all we've got. So we're going to do something for gargoyles here. So we're going to do something for gargoyles at each end of this. I was about to think maybe that would let us do something different with these crenellations, get them on a more regular footing, but no, we can't do that. How much stairs do I still have? Some. I think I'm going to need more than that. Plus, we're going to need some mannequins and some gold armor. I say mannequins, I mean armor stands, obviously. Keep complaining how slow the sheep farm is. And I mean, it's not really as sheep farms go. A thing I could do, there's 16 different color sheep in there. I could make them all green sheep. Be only slightly crazy. Why these are different colors? When I get a pillager raid, the Oh, I forget what they're called. The, like, bull things. Those kill any leaves you place. So we want 4 armor stands, and I think we need smooth stone slabs for that. Yeah, just 1 though. I thought it was more than that. All right, I got 4 armor stands, and 4 suits of armor is going to be 96 gold. So a stack and a half. 5 for the hat plus 7 for the chest is 12. Plus, plus 8 for the chest. So that's 13. Plus 7 for the pants is 20. Plus 4 for the shoes is 24. So 24 times 4 is 96. There's 96 gold. And gonna need a little bit more prismarine stairs. I don't remember if I left some in the box, but let's get a stack of prismarine brick. It's dark, we may as well sleep here at the base. See, not only is this villager sleeping in my bed, he's like, well, not even an unemployed villager. Unemployed are wearing the green shirts. He's just, what do you call it? A go get a damn job villager. I'm trying to push him, but he's pushing back. My thought is maybe I can push him past that block, and he'll go get a job. Screw it. He just likes standing on a bed. I wish it made sense to kill villagers when they're being dumbasses like that. I mentioned I just came from the bar to watch the Golden Knights. They gave up 2 goals early, but then came back to win 4-2. It felt like a normal Knights game. They've been in a little bit of a slump lately. They've actually fallen to 2nd place. But it felt like a normal Knights game. You know, they weren't on for 60 minutes. They didn't have their shit together for 60 minutes. But they had their shit together for longer than the LA Kings did. See, this is faster than the walking up all the stairs. Oh, I never did. Do I have some stairs? I have some stairs. So I can do at least 1 corner. So, let's kill this. And I think this. I think we want a full block here. Not positive yet. I feel like something with slabs, and I don't have any slabs. I gotta go make some slabs. So what do you think? I got Featherfall. If I jump, will I live? And I guess all I lose is 42 XP levels. That's easy enough to get. Ooh, good to know. I'm going to take this up there with me to make that armor. That's that island that we've taken screenshots from for the last couple of episodes. Slightly different color water. Not sure what I mean, that suggests a biome difference, but I'm not sure what it is. Alright, so that's a full block. I'm thinking maybe slab, slab, slab. Maybe this one's also a full block. I don't think this is a full block. I think this is a stair. I guess I really didn't mean to go that way. No, I don't want to go that way. I want to go stair. Stair. Oops, I want it the other way. That just fell. Stair. Stair. No, I don't like that. I like the idea of this going back to a stair block, though. And how about full block? Slab, slab. Slab, slab. Full block. And then a mannequin on top of this. So it sticks out one block from the whatever, from the from the rest of this fence. So I actually think that works. Why can't I place this? Last time I placed it on the, there we go, on the gray part, and that worked. Okay, so how did we do that? We did slab, slab, full block, double, slab, full block. Let's go in the other corner. Got enough slabs, got enough full blocks. I talked about this in the last video, I think. It never even occurred to me oh, that's a weird way the boots are. It never even occurred to me doing the oracle that my little statues should have been gold rather than iron. And not that I'm saying equivalent statues in, on Greek lighthouses were gold, but they were probably bronze. And right now, at least, gold is probably the best approximation of bronze in game. Copper is coming with the. Why can't I place this? There we go. Copper is coming with the next. I was going to say expansion, but it's not an expansion. It's just an update. And maybe copper, at least waxed copper, would be a better approximation of bronze. But I feel like copper is going to be a better way to do this color. Still weird that the boots are more or less hollow. And one more. Kind of curious what the... ooh. Oh, I lost that block. Kind of curious what the... gargoyles, I guess, what they look like from below. It's weird that I had to back up out of the way a little bit more. I feel like once I'm in the air... Oh, I don't want 6 things of boots. All right. I'm going to put this back downstairs. Now, the next step is to plan out the next section. I left that cobble on top, but we're going to put slabs all across that. But we're not going to put them, obviously, where the next section sits. And, well, let's sleep. And a question in our mind has to be, compared to this, how big is this, width-wise? That seems to show half or more in width. That's definitely more than half in width. That is, well, more than half, but not a lot more than half. So if this is 30 on our build, between pillar and pillar, then maybe this, half would be 15. 20 is a weird number. Let's try plotting out, 24 is too much. Let's try plotting out 20 and see what it looks like. We're going to not want this prismarine anymore. Oh yeah, how does that look? Okay, that looks fine. That doesn't look stupid from down here. So we're going to need some diorite and some sandstone. Well, I guess I've got some of both. All right. Let's go up there and try to plan it out. As far as height, this is 51 meters after our addition to the top of these pillars. So height-wise, actually, let's use this as a guide. We'll zoom in here. And whoever drew this interior said 60 meters for that part. 60 and 30 and 15, that's 105. And then 15 more for the capitals is 120. But anyway, if this is 60, this is 30. So if this is 50, this should be 25. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, no, it's not really, because it's octagonal. So what this drawer did, this designer did, is he made the bottom floor square by adding these extra sections. We could do that, wouldn't kill us, but not going to worry about it now. So, where's the middle? I believe we want 12 and 13 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, no, we want 14 and 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, which should let us place some in the middle here. All right, so that lines up, and I guess I'll put some along the outside edges. But shortly it's going to be it's going to be slabbed up. Okay, so that's 28, the cobbled area. And we were going to try 20. But we want an octagon. So let's think about this. One side is going to look like that, and then like that. And then the corner fits like that. What I'm trying to do is figure out how to get 20 and include the corner. I don't know. I think we have to trial and error it. There is a way to do it working with the Pythagorean theorem and everything. I could do that. I have the skill to do that, but not live, or at least not live in a way that's at all interesting. This is me guessing. Actually, it looks pretty good. How wide is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I think we can go bigger. So that would look like that. And now that should be 16, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I feel like this is still a lot of open space. On the other hand, and this is just over half the total width here. Like the from that pillar to that pillar is just over half the total width. '16 divides so well though that maybe we don't want to try 18. Well, we could see what it looks like. I don't think I have very many scaffolds left. I don't have any on me. All right, so the inner pillars are 16 wide. The outer pillars are 18 wide. First problem I see is that the diagonal sides aren't far enough apart. So our version of 20 wide, I still have some more diorite, would put the diagonal slightly larger. So that distance and that distance have a little more in common now. Still feel like it's a little like this is a little shorter than this. Might be the best we can do in Minecraft though. I normally don't use this much food during a build, but I keep jumping off high towers. So that's 20 wide, or 2/3 the width of the entire tower. And actually, proportionally, it's not bad. If we tried to even up this length with this length, the way to do it would make this too shorter. Well, let's look. I actually think it's not going to work. Yeah, I want the outside one. Yeah, that just gives us the opposite problem, that this is longer than this. Probably we're going back to what we just had. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what? I may keep this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to keep this. Shouldn't be making this many mistakes. Also watched a video of a guy showing off his collection of Lego. And what he does, and he made it sound like it's how people who collect Lego at his level of I don't like nerddom, but that's really what it is. He made it sound like that's how everybody does it. Is okay, you buy a Lego set. You buy the I don't know, Game of Thrones thing. You buy the King's Landing Lego set. And okay, so he buys it and he builds it. And he said, "Oh, cool! This is a really fun build. I like this build." And then he takes it entirely apart, and rather than separate it back out into any sort of too many slabs, rather than separate it back out into any sort of way of like if I were to build a Lego set, and I've got a couple of big ones, if I were to build to take one apart, what I would want to do is put it back in its not original baggies, but it's numbered baggies. I don't know if you've ever bought a big Lego set, but there's X number of internal bags. So there'll be a box that has bags inside that are numbered. And the idea is first you open bag one. And there might be more than one bag one. But first you open bag one, and that is the first few steps of the instructions of building the Lego set. And then you build bag two. And then you build bag three, and so forth. And the really huge sets can have bag numbers up into the 30s. And remember, there can be multiple bag number ones, bag number twos. And when there are, you are intended to, when you need bag one, you're intended to open all the bag ones. And there might be as many as 4 bag ones. A lot of times a bag will also have internal bags, which have what I call the fiddly bits. The little pieces that are 1 or 2 Lego dots wide. And if it's a huge build, you're going to have a lot of pieces, of structural pieces. And those structural pieces are called Lego Technic. And they're held together with plastic pins. And those plastic pins are really super easy to lose. Where'd you come from? I don't know, but you didn't drop anything. Oops, that's not what I want. I'm going to be able to... I don't know if I've got quite enough slabs to finish this. But it's going to be real close. But entirely aside of the cost of all the Legos that he's got, and it's literally thousands of dollars, tens of thousands probably, just the cost of all the different storage things he had might have been $1,000. Sometimes people who work on cars a lot have a system of I don't know what you call them, plastic, a case of plastic drawers, each plastic drawer holding a particular type of screw or spark plug or washer or whatever. And he has his Legos sorted out that way by size and color. So, okay, well, this brick is a 2x2 piece, and it's flat, and it is, off-white. So it goes in... Oop, that's not what I want. So it goes in this drawer. And he had a ton of those drawers. He even had what he was calling his backlog. And those of you who are readers or gamers will get the concept of the backlog. It's the stuff you bought but haven't got around to reading yet, to using yet. Really? He didn't drop anything other than the experience? I mean, I'll take the experience. All right, next step, I think that way's forward, is to extend the stairs up. And stairs should stay wood. It's a lot of poison that witch threw at me. And moon is setting. We'll sleep anyway. And what was I getting? I was getting wood. Now, my hope... I mentioned in the last video that each of these set of stairs, the bottom of it is here on the next floor, 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 here on the next floor. My hope is that by the time we're on the 10th floor, if I extend that staircase upward through the dead area, I should have brought some planks. That we come out in the middle of that octagon. It's going to be close. I think we're going to come up on the wall of it. This is working very well. Okay, so now we want to replace all this cobble with planks. And try to do it in a way that we don't fall down. Not that it's going to seriously hurt us to fall down. It'd be just annoying. You might have real quick seen when I was on speed up. I did check out what trades the trader has. And just like usual at this stage of the game, nothing that interesting. And I'm going to switch directions here. Trying to do the opposite of paint myself into a corner. Oh yes, we wanted to, or I wanted to, I don't know if you wanted to. My idea to start with internal decoration is to extend these diorite pillars downward. Yep, well, I did that. I was going to have to go down anyway, but we certainly don't need this any longer. Extend those pillars downward all the way to the ground floor. And on this level, since we're going to close off the pillars, may as well just do it with cobble since I have it. And I'm actually going to cut through. It doesn't matter. Nobody's going to see that block. But just to line it up below. That shouldn't surprise me that I keep falling downstairs. That one I was looking and I still fell. My idea is granite for the pillars on the lower floors. Probably polished granite. Let's make sure we got 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Schlemiel Schlemazel, Hassenpfeffer Incorporated. All right, do I want to extend the columns down first, or do I want to... I think I want to put the floor in first. I can actually extend the... Maybe I will do that. I'll extend the columns down off camera. And I can, that way, consider whether I want them to be polished granite or smooth granite. Leaning towards polished, there's a good argument for smooth. And I use up a lot of the granite in the deep roads, but I should have enough to do what we want to do here. So what do I need? I need a bunch of wood. too much. Actually, I can put the stairs away. Where was that wood? I'm not going to need the stairs. Well, I actually will, but not yet. And let's use this. That worked out real well where the stairs came up in the octagon.
Huh?
For those of you from Vegas, and I'm sure there aren't very many, where I had dinner is one of the more famous karaoke bars in town. Not sure whether I should mention the name of the place or not. If you're from Vegas, you can probably guess just from that description. But anyway, as you see by the on the bottom of the screen, it just ticked over to April 13th. And there hasn't been karaoke since the shutdown, so a little over a year. But I talked to somebody there today, and he said they're going to try to bring it back this weekend. And I enjoy karaoke, but it's a bigger deal just that that something's coming back. As far as I know, the governor hasn't issued a 100% open edict yet. There's a date, and I don't know the date. It might actually be the 15th. So either 2 or 3 days from now, depending how you count. Where corona restrictions go to local option. And most of the Las Vegas metro area is not in the city of Las Vegas, which may or may not surprise you. All right, so I want, if we had 50 down below, we want these to be 25. I'm going to take each of these pillars up 25, which means I'm going to need more. I'm going to need 200. And then we can worry about how we're going to do the walls and the windows. I don't know very much about the governance of Clark County, which is probably the local unit that the governor is talking about. The city of Las Vegas, the mayor is very pro open up, get people back in the casinos, bring the tourists back, open. And actually, the media made fun of her over it. So I need 200. That's I've got enough. The media made fun of her over it because in their mind she was just being clueless and risking everybody's lives and whatever. And agree or not, her point of view was let people make their own decisions. By and large, that's worked out over the course of this pandemic. all the times people have said, oh my God, they're letting people do X in the city of Y. Everybody's going to get sick and die. That hasn't happened. Going back to the Sturgis bike rally, whenever that was in South Dakota. But anyway, politics aside, the city of Las Vegas is likely to be wide open, but I think it's the county units that get to decide. And they may have a different point of view. For those of you who come here as tourists, you may or may not know that most of the Strip, most of what people think of when they think of Vegas, what tourists think of when they think of Vegas, most of the Strip is not in the city of Las Vegas. It is, you can look at it two ways. It's either in unincorporated Clark County or it is in the town of Paradise. I've looked into this. In Nevada, towns are creatures entirely of the county government. They do get town councils, but anything they decide, the county has to sign off on. And all their money comes from the county. I lost my count. And so in my view, and you know, I'm probably wrong, but in my view, you can completely ignore town government. Where I live is... Actually, I think I am technically in Paradise. But Facebook often thinks I am in the town of Whitney. Near Samstown is where I live, if you know Vegas, way on the east side. All right, I think those are all 25 high. Do I have one more to build? No, I guess that's right. So the plan is to build up sandstone this high. It actually looks kind of cool. It looks like a temple or something, a space something. But we have to plan out windows and such. Well, we know we're not going to need more diorite. Let's put the diorite away and get some windows. Well, not windows, but some stairs for windows. You note I did leave some area up on top of the Prismarine where mobs could theoretically spawn. And yes, that's true. We did, but I'm not gonna worry about it. Did I put some stairs away? We're gonna need the stairs to go to the next level. But we also are going to need those. I feel like that's going to be enough stairs because we're not going to be able to put windows on the angled walls. There's no way to make that look good, in my opinion. All right, I'm going to leave one side open for using those scaffolds. We have 6 across here. So plan out the windows. Maybe 2 windows here and here, 1.5 tall. Did I bring any slabs up? Yes, I did. So like that. And then this, there's no good way to do this. Oh, I don't want to use slabs for that. When I'm doing the horizontal or the not diagonal bits, I can put them on the sides of the pillars. Can't do that here. Oops. I feel like I left a topic of discussion shortchanged a little bit, but I don't remember what that topic was. So I guess it's going to stay shortchanged. I noticed that when I edit my videos, you know, like, oh, wait, why didn't I mention so-and-so? But I also am very surprised at my... Well, I wanted to leave this side open. Well, I'll leave this open. My idiosyncratic, nice $3 word there, idiosyncratic way of speaking. With these long pauses, sometimes in the middle of a sentence. You know, well, you probably don't need an example at this point, like, but, you know, so I was at the store, and the guy at the checkout register said to me, you know, like that. And sometimes way longer than that. All right, that works. And put in the next set of stairs. Yeah. Have to remind myself on the next trip down. I believe there is already another axe in the boxes down there. Plus my efficiency axe for reaping. Well, heck, I call it the tree reaper. All right, we know over here we need more sandstone. Ah! Was pretty close, though. Well, I suppose we could put in some oak, and that'll let us get to that area easier. My plan for this video is to do 2 stories of the octagon here and call it a video. I feel like that makes it one of the shorter videos, but that's okay. Yep, there goes the X. Wasn't sure there if punching planks will give me the actual block. To finish the thought about Ellis Island, now I said the name of the place. Today they were still at less than 100% capacity. They had some tables blocked off. And are they planning for this coming weekend to be at 100% capacity? Or are they planning on just on just doing the karaoke with limited capacity? I don't know the answer to that. I don't have enough stairs to go all the way, upside down stairs to go all the way up this. Well, maybe I do. Which also implies I don't need some of these at the top. So, if we have one here, oops. Maybe I should have gotten an axe before I did this. I'm sure you're not that excited watching me punch logs. And yeah, it looks like I have enough upside down stairs, or enough stairs to close off the dead level. to light it in some way. Well, it's going to be glowstone or sea lantern, like right here. So, note to self: next time I'm at base, get a glowstone or a sea lantern, and probably an iron trapdoor, maybe an oak trapdoor. I'm trying to figure out what I was doing next. I completely lost my train of thought, but while I'm downstairs here, I'll sleep. I probably need more wood for floors. Hi, Enderman. Definitely going to need more wood. Well, you can't even see the bottom of the octagon from here. Not going to need. Well, I don't even need these really. Got plenty of this. All the wood I can have. Let's turn some of it into stairs. And we're going to do the same thing, use the scaffolding. When I extend the octagon up to its top off camera, I'm going to need more oak. I'm going to have to do another little oak farm. Well, that works out. Okay, that'll be my plan for getting the walls up here without taking damage. Another thing I found interesting in those Doctor Who videos is how many of the people who would go on to play Doctor Who were already around the franchise in some way. What just happened? Okay. Okay. Not falling. Usually you spawn into nothing, it shows you falling. My Y coordinate is not changing. It says right below the XYZ on the left that it's waiting for chunk. Well, this is interesting. Disconnected. I have comms. Waiting for chunk. Well, maybe this is the end of the video. Never seen this particular error before, and Joe's server, the server we're playing on, is usually pretty stable. I've never run into this before. He it does do a backup every night. It's able to do a ping. I'm going to try something real quick. Okay, I can load up a website just fine. So it's not my connection. 2.0 world is our the world I showed you with my original build of the lighthouse, and the 3.0 world is the present one. There was a 1.0 world. It was a different host, different. The world was on a different machine, and so that's lost to us now. All right, I guess we're calling this a video. I've never seen this particular error on the server before. So you did get to see the first floor of the octagon. And we were going to repeat that on the second floor. And I'm just going to off camera repeat that all the way up to the top of the octagon. It is 25 high. I think we're going to get 6 levels. And then do whatever we do on top of that. Maybe some more things with Prismarine. But until then, have fun, Internet. We'll see you next time. I'm still Handsome Dan. And have a good night.